So in this phase, we're doing the same workout 3 weeks in a row, which means we have Snatch Technique again. And the snatch is a strange exercise, I think, for a lot of people, but it's something that when you're bored of the traditional lifts, it's something that can make weightlifting or the gym experience really fun because it's a technical, athletic movement. A lot of coordination involved, fire in the hips and speed under the bar. And it's something that I think we all really enjoy. I decided to warm up in this little gym because the floor is really hard. I don't like the floor in the other gym that much for this style of lifting because it's a little soft and takes away a little bit of force when you're driving your feet into the ground. But the bar is moving pretty good today, man. And the contact felt really good, which can be really scary in this lift because if you hit it the wrong way, you can really like smash your pelvis and it really sucks. It's not something you want to do, but unfortunately it's part of the learning process. And so we just did some sets of 5. Lightweight, I mean, this is not lightweight for me. This is a hard lift, so it's hard to get this weight over your head. But I'd like to build it up. I went for 50 kilos. And Zimmerman told me my hips went a little bit high, and now I look at it and he was right. I could have kept my hips down a little bit longer. So after we do a dynamic movement, like the snatch, we like to get into just a strength exercise, and obviously the bench press is one of the best upper body strength exercises. And as I said, we're working on our technique a lot, and so you forget some things when the season's going on, when you're not really focused on lifting, like hip drive. And that's something that we decided to focus on when we were benching today. You can see Ali said he learned how to lift in McFit, and so you see no hip action in this set. And I'm back there looking at the bar to see if it's over his forearm bone, and he's got a good 90 perpendicular angle, and he did, but he needs to get his hips into it. If you watch Zimmerman right here, you see he's got his feet flat and he drives with his legs a little bit, and that gives you that allows your body to get into the lift. And anytime I've said before, you can get your hips into a movement when we're doing performance training. I think it's good coordination of the body and being efficient. And so after we said it to Ali, he came in for this set, and you can see that, I mean, he could probably get his feet, the bench isn't ideal, but he needs to get his feet a little tighter and flatten, but you can see his hips on this set, and that's allowing the bar speed to be better. And when we're lifting a lot, especially for performance training, I think bar speed's very important. I think it's something that maybe gets underrated when you try to go too heavy with the weights. I think that's always a good estimate of how strong you can be is you just go until you feel like the bar, once it gets too slow, you gotta drop the weight a little bit, especially getting back into training. And then these fly things are just something that's good to hit the pecs a little bit, build up some muscle. And then the press, this is a great exercise. We supersetted it with some weighted pull-ups. Zimmerman has like 15 kilos on his belt right now. He's really the driver basically of what we do, especially as far as discipline, man. He's always here. I don't think he's ever been late, ever. And that's good for us because, you don't want to let a kid like that down. He's there every day. And Ali's been doing a great job, man. He's been showing up consistently, except for last Friday. We were giving him some shit because he said, "Oh, my body just hurts and I just need a day off." And, those are the days that we're trying to get these young guys to understand that are the most important to get in the gym. You're going to have those days where you wake up and you're just like, "Oh, I can not do anything today." But you'd be surprised after you move around a little bit, warm up, that you can normally get through a lot more than you think you can. And especially going into the off season, the mental toughness side of what we do is something that we focus on a lot. Like, you need to build that up because doing this, as I've said in the last video, doing this stuff day in and day out can be exhausting mentally, just as much as it is physically. But you just kind of look at it one day at a time. You can't look at the whole picture, or it's too overwhelming. It's too long. It's too hard, And so you just break it down into days or weeks or training blocks. But you see, Zim does a good job of getting his head under the bar here. He pushes his head through the window. There's a really good lift right there. He's got his hands directly over his forearms, good angle. So he's getting his head there. He's finishing. He's shrugging at the top, and that's what you want to do when you're doing these overhead presses. Like Ali needs to shrug a little bit more. You see how he's not full extension. He does a better job right here getting his head through the window. But it's important to just lock your elbows out as hard as you can, man, and just keep your ass tight and try not to try to have a solid base. And I filmed this up close. I was giving Zimmerman some shit because his heel was lifting up, and he said it wasn't. So I said, all right, I'm gonna film it. But some of these exercises you can see, like they sound easy, but it's not that easy. Me and Zimmerman have done these for a lot of years, but these younger guys, man, they don't understand that, you need to work on stuff like this. It shouldn't be that hard. I think Ali needs to pick a spot in front of him and don't look directly down at the ground when you do these balance exercises. You want to look at something ahead of you that isn't really moving. At least that's what I try to do. And I try to picture my foot is like a tree and the roots are in the surface, and just try to be totally in balance with that leg, because these are complicated and difficult things to do. It doesn't sound hard, do a one-legged squat, but you'd be surprised just what your body weight can be like sometimes. And after a couple weeks, dude, my legs are starting to feel equally strong. I was off balance muscle-wise. I thought the first 2 weeks into this, my left leg was noticeably weaker than my right leg, and today actually felt pretty good. So whatever we're doing is working. And these are deficit straight leg deadlifts. This is not an easy exercise. A deficit is something you want to do when you want to make it the range of motion or make it a little bit more difficult. You don't have to go as high in the weight because you can't really pull from a deficit as much as you can from a normal position. And these are more like RDLs. He needs to get his feet closer together, toes straight ahead, and focus on keeping his knees straight. I also have a hard time keeping my legs straight. I mean, I think maybe I did too much rollerblading or snowboarding growing up, but my legs refuse to go straight on any exercise. And Zimmerman wanted to point out my lack of attention to detail having 2 different socks on. You just can't. It's a tough crowd in there. It's really a tough crowd. Hard place to lift weights, But yeah, we got through a few set of these. I probably went too heavy. I should have lightened it up. Like, there's no reason to lift this heavy right now. But it's just when you have your old maxes in mind, and you're not being conscious of the fact that you're not as in good a shape as you were when you were in the middle of your off season last year. It's you got to take a step back with your ego and drop the weight a little bit, and that's something I'm gonna do a little bit more in the next month. Because I don't know, it's like, as I said, it's a long off season, and you can't burn yourself out, and you can't push yourself too hard every day, or else that's not really training. That's just testing strength, and that's not the point. It's supposed to be a gradual process of strength and conditioning that you gain over a long period of time, with consistent effort. Just like these shrugs too. Didn't have to do 100 kilos. Just, you're in there lifting with the guys, and the old primitive thought processes come out. Competition. But they're doing it with the trap bar here too. I like that with the neutral grip. And then we always finish up with some type of scapular work, rotator cuff stuff, just shoulder health. injury prevention stuff, and you can't really do enough of those exercises, and then core is always the thing we hate the most at the end. But it's something you have to do. If you don't like it, then chances are you got to do more of it. And that was Tuesday.